Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. This is just going to be a quick little documentary review for Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. It's currently having very limited screenings here in Sydney. Yesterday, I got a chance to catch a screening early yesterday morning with my mate Luke. I have been dying to see this amongst everyone else. The trailer left me like welling up and just wanting to be moved, and this is what I loved about this documentary. It moved me, but I think it's going to affect people in different ways, and I'll touch on that later. But essentially, this just tells the story of Christopher Reeve's rise to fame, becoming Superman, his struggles being Superman, playing Superman, being in the public eye, whilst also dealing with his personal life and also leading up to the events of his tragic accident and his untimely and tragic death in 2005, amongst other tragedies that go on that just really tug at the heartstrings. And by the end of it, you're left exhausted emotionally, but at the same time, inspired. As much bad had happened in his life, he still rose to the occasion and accomplished a lot, considering he was paralyzed from the neck down. And they also go into the science of his accident, how it happened, what parts of the body were affected, and it's painful to watch and hear when they described exactly what happened. These are things I didn't know when he fell off that horse. Now, they also interviewed two of his children from his previous relationship, but he got married for the first time to a lovely lady named Dana, who unfortunately is no longer with us. And they also interview Will Reeve from that marriage, who, in my opinion, could play a really good Superman. Look at him. He's a spitting image of his dad, and he's huge. And Will essentially describes just millimeters off how the accident could have changed vastly in terms of Christopher Reeve's recovery or death. Now, what I like about this documentary, it's not in order. It jumps back and forth throughout Christopher Reeve's timeline. He had a very brutal childhood with a tyrant of a dad who just didn't approve of anything he did, especially when he got the role of Superman, which you think a dad would be fucking proud of his own son who got the role of the Man of Steel, but no, just like it wasn't academic enough. And again, stuff I did not know. Also delving into his personal life, where at one point he didn't want to be seen as a husband or a family man, and he wanted to be a single man. So I like that they paint him in this picture where he's not perfect, like all of us. He may be Superman, but he's not Superman in real life. He has a vulnerable side, he has a sensitive side, but also dealing with the fact of being typecast as Superman and trying to break out into other roles, other serious dramatic roles, which in my opinion, he's a great dramatic actor. I love some of his other roles, and it's sad that Superman always overshadowed those roles. And obviously leading up to the events of the accident and then the aftermath, but also what he accomplished after the accident. He wouldn't take no for an answer. He was determined to get out of that chair. There were some controversies. You know, he did an advert where he, with the help of CGI, stood up out of the wheelchair, and I didn't know that was a thing. Again, a lot of things I did not know. That caused a bit of controversy within the community of people who had similar accidents to him and were wheelchair bound and paralyzed from the neck down. Apparently that did not go down well, and it's just amazing to see where his children are now, and they're still head of the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. I think that's what it's called. But what I took away from this is we're not guaranteed a tomorrow. Even the Man of Tomorrow wasn't guaranteed a tomorrow, and unfortunately he's no longer with us, which is cruel irony at its finest, I think. Now, what I meant at the beginning of the video is we're going to take away something different, I think, depending on who you are. So case in point, my mate Sam saw a preview screening of this last week. He called me just to say how it was. I go, dude, like, how was it? He goes, I think people are going to take away something different with what's going on in their life. And I completely agree with that. I'm now married. I've known Luke, who I saw the film with yesterday, for 23 years. Luke is now married, he's a new dad, and I've never seen Luke cry until yesterday. He actually cried more than me, and I think, again, because he now has a son, and you compare, and like, you know, I was looking at Dana, and I'm thinking of Chloe, and everyone is going to take away something different and be in a different situation and mindset as well. But at the same time, if you can take away being inspired and just having hope, that's fucking amazing, man. This is exactly what this documentary gave me, even though sometimes it's so tragic to watch and hear, especially with his 3 children and what they had to endure. They had to grow up quick. I don't really want to go into any more. It's one of those things where you definitely should go out and see it, or you can just wait for it to come out on streaming. Like, it's not like, you know, big action, you know, you have to see it and hear it for the sound design. It's a documentary, but I wanted to see it as soon as possible. And again, again, they had a limited screening run at the moment, and they had one yesterday morning. I definitely want to check it out. And with that, I'm going to be giving Superman the Christopher Reeve story 5 Kleenex boxes out of 5. So guys, if you have seen the Christopher Reeve documentary, please drop a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. What did you take away from it? Again, definitely left me feeling inspired. We're not guaranteed a tomorrow, so when would now be a good time? There's no time to have a fuck around factor. Get out there and do your thing. Love you guts, and I'll catch you in the next one.